the empty house on Maple Street, Dave Miller noticed the for sale sign was gone on his Monday morning jog. The old Carlson place, vacant for nearly 2 years, finally had new owners. He slowed to catch his breath, hands on his knees, staring at the faded blue Victorian with its sagging porch and peeling paint. Something seemed different about it today, though Dave couldn't quite put his finger on what. Maybe it was just knowing someone would live there again. "Good morning." Dave jumped, startled by the woman who'd appeared at the edge of the property. She was tall, thin, with black-rimmed glasses and a friendly smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Sorry," she said. "Didn't mean to scare you." "No problem," Dave said, catching his breath. "Just wasn't expecting anyone. You the new owner?" "That's right. Sarah Winters." She extended her hand. Her fingers were ice cold despite the warm June morning. "My husband Mike and our daughter Emma are inside unpacking." "Welcome to the neighborhood," Dave said. "I'm Dave. My wife Jen and I are just 2 doors down. The blue ranch with the maple tree out front." Sarah nodded, still smiling that strange smile. "Good to know." "Need any help with moving in?" "Oh, we've got it under control," Sarah said quickly. "We prefer to handle things ourselves." Dave nodded, though something about her tone made the hairs on his arms stand up. "Well, if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask." "Actually," Sarah said, "there is one thing. Could you tell me what happened to the previous owners?" Dave shifted uncomfortably. "The Carlsons? Nothing happened to them exactly. They just left." "Left?" Sarah's eyebrows arched over her glasses. "Yeah. One day they were here, the next they weren't. No moving trucks, no goodbyes, just gone." "Interesting," Sarah said, nodding slowly. "Very interesting." By the end of the week, the entire neighborhood was talking about the Winters family. No one had seen the husband or daughter, just Sarah, who would wave from the porch or yard but never invited anyone inside. "They're probably just private people," Jen said as she loaded the dishwasher after dinner. "Not everyone wants to be besties with their neighbors." I guess," Dave replied, toweling a plate dry. "But don't you think it's weird? They don't put their garbage out. No lights at night except in the attic. And that girl..." "What girl?" "I thought you said no one's seen the daughter." Dave frowned. "I haven't, but Mrs. Peterson swears she saw a little girl staring out the attic window yesterday, just standing there, not moving, for over an hour." Jen shrugged. "Kids are weird sometimes." That night, Dave woke at 3:17 a.m. He lay still, unsure what had disturbed his sleep, until he heard it again. Singing. A child's voice, high and clear, drifting through their open bedroom window. He slipped out of bed and went to the window. The street was dark except for the yellow glow of streetlights, the houses silent. All except for the Carlson place. The attic light was on, a pale square in the darkness. And that singing, Dave couldn't make out the words, but the melody raised goosebumps on his skin. It wasn't a lullaby or a children's song. It was something older, something that didn't belong in a child's mouth. The next morning, Dave asked Jen if she'd heard anything, but she'd slept through the night. He decided to jog past the Winters house again, hoping to catch Sarah, or better yet, her husband. But as he approached, Dave stopped dead in his tracks. The for sale sign was back in the yard. "Morning, Dave." It was Bill Thompson, the realtor who'd handled the Carlson place. "Bill, what's going on? I thought the Winters bought this house." Bill looked confused. "Winters? Nobody's bought this place yet. It's been vacant since the Carlsons left." Dave stared at him. "But..." "I met Sarah Winters, tall woman, glasses. She said her husband and daughter were inside. Bill shook his head. Dave, I've had the only key since the Carlsons disappeared. Nobody's been in this house for 2 years. That's impossible, Dave said. I talked to her, right here. Bill sighed. Look, between you and me, this place has been nothing but trouble. People call about it, schedule viewings, then never show up, or they show up and refuse to go inside. One couple made it as far as the foyer before the wife started screaming about the smell. Smell? Yeah, said it smelled like something died in there. I couldn't smell a thing. Dave looked up at the house. The attic window was open a crack. Can we go in? He asked suddenly. Bill hesitated, then shrugged. Sure, why not? Maybe you'll actually buy the damn place and take it off my hands. The inside of the house was cold, despite the summer heat outside. Their footsteps echoed on the hardwood floors as Bill led Dave through empty rooms thick with dust. See, Bill said. Nobody's been here in years. But something caught Dave's eye in the kitchen. A refrigerator magnet in the shape of a sunflower, bright yellow against the white door. It hadn't been there when Bill walked past. Dave was certain of it. Let's check upstairs, Dave said. Bill followed reluctantly. The second floor was as empty as the first, but when they reached the narrow stairs to the attic, a cold draft washed over them. The attic window must be open, Bill said. I'll close it. Wait, Dave said, grabbing Bill's arm. Do you hear that? From above came the soft sound of humming, the same melody Dave had heard in the night. Bill's face went pale. That's just the wind. That's not the wind. Dave started up the stairs. Bill hesitated, then followed. The attic was a large, open space with sloped ceilings and a single window that looked out over the front yard. Unlike the rest of the house, it wasn't empty. A child's rocking chair sat in the corner. A small table held crayons and paper, and on the wall, dozens of drawings, crude, childish pictures of a house with 3 stick figures inside. In every drawing, one of the figures was scribbled out with angry black crayon. What the hell? Bill whispered. Dave moved to the window and looked down at the front yard, where he'd spoken to Sarah Winters less than a week ago. From this angle, he could see something he'd missed before. A rectangular patch of earth where the grass was just starting to grow back. About the size of a grave. The rocking chair began to move, slowly at first, then faster, creaking rhythmically on the wooden floor. We need to go, Bill said, backing toward the stairs. Dave couldn't move. His eyes were fixed on a drawing that was different from the others. It showed their street, with houses labeled in childish handwriting. The Carlson house, and 2 doors down, the Miller's house, with all 3 stick figures scribbled out in black. The humming grew louder. The temperature dropped until their breath fogged in the air. Dave! Now! Bill grabbed his arm. As they turned to leave, Dave saw her, a small girl in the corner where no one had been a moment before. She wore a faded blue dress, her dark hair hanging over her face. Slowly, she raised her head. Where her eyes should have been were only empty sockets, black and bottomless. She's coming to your house next, the girl whispered, her voice like dried leaves scraping across pavement. Mother's so hungry. And there's nothing left for her here. That night, Dave sat in his living room with every light on, a baseball bat across his knees. Jen had taken his story seriously enough to go stay with her sister. He'd called the police, of course. They'd searched the Carlson house with Bill and found nothing. No drawings, no rocking chair, no signs of habitation, just an empty house with an open attic window. They'd humored him by checking the yard, finding nothing but dirt where the grass hadn't grown back properly, probably just where they removed a tree or something, the officer had said. Dave knew better. At 3:17 a.m. he heard it again, that singing, closer now. Not from 2 doors down, but from just outside. The porch light flickered and went out. Someone knocked at the front door. 3 slow knocks. "Dave?" called a woman's voice. Sarah's voice. "Dave, we need your help. Can you let us in?" Dave gripped the bat tighter, saying nothing. "Dave, please. Emma's hurt. We need to use your phone." The doorknob began to turn, though Dave knew he'd locked it. "Go away," he said, his voice shaking. The doorknob stopped turning. For a moment there was silence. Then Sarah spoke again, her voice different now, deeper, wrong, like multiple voices speaking in unison. "We're already inside, Dave." The lights went out all at once. In the sudden darkness, Dave heard soft footsteps coming down the hall from the back of the house, from Jen's and his bedroom. And then the singing began again, a child's voice right behind him. Dave didn't turn around. He couldn't. But in the black screen of the TV across from him, he could see the reflection. A small girl in a blue dress standing behind his chair, and behind her, a tall, thin woman with black-rimmed glasses, smiling a smile that didn't reach her empty eye socket. "The house was never empty, Dave," Sarah whispered. "It was just waiting."